Welcome back to a new episode of Lunch from Debates. I am your co-host Dibo, and my other co-hosts Owen and Matt.
Sup?
I gotta say, can we switch this real quick? I just realized it's always been Debo, Matt, Owen when we've had the three of us. This is a little throwing me off. And
You're
I can
not
only
fucking
assume it's
My
throwing off our
fault.
guest.
man.
There we
What the
go.
hell?
That's on me. My fault.
Man, I like
Much
the
better.
DOM acronym that rather than the DMO acronym.
DMO. You know what DMO stands for?
It's not DMT.
DMO?
What
DMO
does
stands
DMO
for
stand for?
Dogs Matter Only.
What?
You just
For our
made
dog
that
people out
up,
there, they understand.
bro. You just made it. I've never heard the acronym before in my life,
Hey, you
What
gotta
the-
admit, you gotta admit, I'm quick on my feet.
bro.
Are you
You
really?
made it up. No one says that.
Bro's trying to be a fucking stand-up comedian.
Nobody
just not
says
true.
that at all.
That's just not
Nobody.
true. Well, both of those are just completely incorrect statements. I-
Are they?
Consistently hear people say that. Frequently, I would add.
Name people.
People. You?
Name people. John, Bob, Jeffrey, Jordan.
You're just
Jacob.
making up names. You're making up names.
Nah, Daquan says it.
No.
This brother's lying right now.
I play
Now I'm
Captain so
playing.
hard.
It's good to be back though. How you guys doing?
Swell.
Straight.
Living.
Well, finally having a couple days without rain over here. It's
Oh
been
my
like
God.
3 months since we've gone consistently without rain.
It really has been too. That's crazy.
Just felt like
It's that,
Seattle.
that El
man.
Nino weather pattern, I think, is what it is. Shout out my environmental science class.
Now, can you explain what it is?
Not really. I forgot. It's something
It's
with
like-
like the ocean currents.
Ocean currents, wind patterns, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But that's
Yeah,
why
I
we're a
just got the
basketball
noti that we're live.
podcast, not
I
a
just got the noti that
not
we're
an
live.
environmental science
Yes,
podcast.
sir. Shoot.
Hey man,
Actually, we might need to post that shit on IG or something like that. I don't know.
It's not ridiculous.
you post on the
It's not
story.
ridiculous. I could probably do it right now.
Yeah, man. All right, Matt. I believe today we are doing a young core tournament. What team
Yes,
has
sir.
the best
Yes,
young
sir.
core?
So, what I have comprised for us, I've made a bracket. I've ranked each team. One is third. One is the best team with the best young core, and 30 is the worst young core. And so the way we determined young cores was simple: 24 years and younger. And essentially, we didn't put the two-way players. We didn't put the G leaguers. We didn't put the players that just got drafted in the second round with the 60th pick. We put rotational pieces or lottery pick, first round picks basically. And so we're just gonna go through the bracket and see who wins, see what upsets there are. I will say I might have put one team at the 1 seed, another team at the 6 seed, but I did it pretty quickly. So it could be very possible that we see the 1 seed go down today.
March Madness style, man. I like it.
Bro,
March Madness.
I don't even
style.
know, bro. I don't even know what the bracket looks like, man. So wait, we just gonna have to see.
We're just gonna have to see.
Yeah, Matt's the mastermind behind it.
Yes. Dude, is there a way I could share my screen? Or should I just do it vocally?
You could just do it vocally. We'll be fine.
All right. First round matchup. So the 1 and the 2 seeds, I just want to clarify the way that the website has it set up. 1 and 2 seeds have first round buys. That doesn't really matter too much because they would have beat the 30 or the 29 seed anyway when you see who the 30 and the 29 seed are. So first round, we have the 3 seed Orlando Magic with a young core of Anthony Black and Jet Howard, who they drafted in this year's draft. Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony Bobo, Wendell Carter, and Chumo Okiki versus the Milwaukee Bucks, who have Marjon Beauchamp and AJ Green. Who are we taking?
It's a real brain buster there, man.
Bro,
Anybody want to make the case for Milwaukee?
it's really hard, man. I don't know. I mean, I guess Beauchamp, kind of high on Beauchamp. I think he'd be a good military replacement if he were to not re-sign with the Bucks this offseason, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I really don't have that much to say about
I got
Milwaukee.
Magic. We all know, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while now, you know how I feel about the Orlando Magic. Maybe they're a little too high at number 3, but I think that even without debate, you can take them here.
Hey, man, I'll take the Magic over a lot of these teams. Looking at
Yes.
all these young players, and that's a solid core. I tell you what, like more than half their team's young, and they're all of them are very good.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm very high on the Magic anyway. I think
For
they took a big leap over the past regular season. Jamal Mosley, the head coach, he's done a fantastic job managing the team and improving the young talent around them, building that young core up and up. Banchero and Wagner, two great wings, can score, 3-level scorers. I think those two are a very solid duo that will be contenders for in the East for like the next five even decade in the near future. So I'm very high on that
And
Magic team.
one of the reasons why I had the Magic ranked so highly was just because their young core, it's like they have a position in their young core for 1 through 5. Like point guard, you have Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony. Shooting guard, you have Jet Howard, who looks to be a good prospect. Wings, like Dibo said, you have Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero, who look to be complete studs. And then in the front court, you still have Bol, you still have Wendell Carter. Like they built their team so well, and it's like there's really no position of weakness as far as like the young talent goes.
Yeah, those players get some experience, and the Magic are going to be a problem in the years to come. I tell you what.
Rebuttal, Matt. I think the point guard position, mainly like the guards in general, I think they need improvement. Jalen Suggs,
I like
he
Markel, though.
hasn't. I do like Markel, but he has a limited offensive ceiling. And what we saw with the Magic this year, they really struggled offensively trying to get a third scorer to complement both Banchero and Wagner. So
They missed on the. I do like the Jet Howard pick because I'm sure that him and Franz Wagner have quite a bit of chemistry with one another. But I wish they went Grady Dick. I really wish they went Grady Dick with that pick.
Well, why's
the
that,
length
Matt?
that they would have on the court with his
Oh.
shooting, because they struggle with shooting the ball. If there's one thing Grady Dick can do, it's shoot that 3.
bro, just say you wanted to see the Suggs Dick nickname, bro. We already know.
Hey, I was the only one in the chat campaigning
It was
for
a
it on
missed
draft night.
opportunity.
But let's move on because that one was pretty easy. 29 seed Celtics. Dibo, do you remember? We were talking about it before. Who the Celtics 2 players are?
Yeah, Jordan Walsh, the guy we drafted in the second round, and JD Davison. That's basically
And
it.
Grant Williams. Don't disrespect greatness.
Yeah.
Versus the 4 seed Houston Rockets, who have Cam Whitmore, who they drafted, Alman Thompson as well, who they drafted, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith, Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Kenyon Martin Jr., and Kevin Porter Jr. Do we need to spend any time on this one, fellas?
No.
Man, in a 4-game series, I got Rockets in 2.
Well said. Next one is the Clippers as the 28 seed. The Clippers young core is let me scroll down to it. Brandon Boston Jr., Bones Highland, Kobe Brown, who they drafted, and then Jason Preston. And they are going against the number 5 seed, Detroit Pistons. And the Pistons have Jalen Duren, Ashore Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, and Hamidou Diallo. Anybody want to make that case for Bones Highland?
Hey, that boy.
I'm sure Owen can do that. Owen, nah, you got him, bro. He sure got
That boy
him, right?
can shoot. He can shoot.
I told you
can
the first 5, 6, 7 rounds are going to go quick because they're blowouts. But once we get into this, it's going to be a lot of debate. But we all go with Pistons on that one.
I am good with the Pistons on that one,
Yeah,
especially with Jalen Duren in there. Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm saying if they don't start Jalen Duren at the 5 this season, I'm gonna be very upset.
I will be too.
Moving on, we have the 6 seed Cavaliers. Their young core, it's a smaller young core, not too many names on it, but the names are pretty impactful players. They have Emoni Bates, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, Darius Garland, and then Isaiah Mobley, brother of Evan Mobley. And they are going against the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls' young core looks like Dalen Terry, Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Terry Taylor, and Kobe White. Who are we taking, fellas?
Man, I gotta go with the Cavs there.
I'll take Cavs as well. Dibo, any conflict or not?
I think I'm gonna take Cleveland as well, single-handedly because of Evan Mobley. So he's gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got like a young Lob City and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Next up is 7 seed Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have Kobe Bumpkin, who they drafted, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Sadiq Bey, and the biggest name of all, Trae Young, who I was still surprised he's 24.
Yeah, Trae Young is young, dude.
Yeah, he's 24. Versus the 27th seed LA Lakers, or excuse me, the 26th seed LA Lakers, who have Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who they drafted, Troy Brown Jr., Jared Vanderbilt, and Lonnie Walker. To me, Trae Young is better than any of the names I listed on the Lakers, so I gotta go Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. The only player on the Lakers that you could really even say is okay would be Lonnie Walker.
Damn, he said fuck Jared Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Why? You don't like Vanderbilt?
You know how I feel about it.
Why you don't like Vanderbilt?
What happened in the Lakers series? Why did he not play?
He was a big part of that season run, and he was a big part of them being so good towards the stretch of the regular season. Bro, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. I get he has a very limited offensive game, but you can't just ignore the impact he has defensively.
Yeah, that defensive impact really showed when they got swept.
Oh, okay.
It showed against Steph Curry and the Warriors, though, because the second that they put Austin Reeves and Jared Vanderbilt on Draymond Green and Steph Curry, they won, 2 or 3 in a row? I think it was 3 in a row.
Are we going to sit here and say the Warriors were a more powerful offensive team than the Nuggets?
No, but I'm saying that
they're still very, very good offensively with Steph.
I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying you need more offensive firepower to be capable against a team like the Nuggets or like even the Celtics.
For sure. But I mean, for what his contract is and for the type of effort he gives, I mean, I think that is pretty good value. Especially considering that post-trade deadline, the Lakers were the best team in the league.
Bingo. Bro, the front court duo of AD and Jared Vanderbilt is probably the best in the league defensively. We can't ignore that.
You also got to think about it this way. Like, there's a reason why Draymond Green, although he has a limited offensive game, he is a much better playmaker. Because Jared Vanderbilt, he's not doing much outside of standing in the corner. But he's able to exist on the court because he has floor spacers like a Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson, even a Wiggins to an extent. But with the Lakers, I mean, we saw in that series, was anybody hitting a three-point shot outside of Austin Reeves?
No, and Jared Vanderbilt was not going to help that.
No, he wasn't, but I'm saying that's never been a part of his game. His game has been complementing the players who can shoot that three-point ball.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but it shows as a huge fundamental flaw when they go against a team that has a high offensive firepower.
No, for sure.
But we can move on from that.
We can move on. I think that this number 8 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves, are a bit of a dark horse. They are one of the teams that don't have too many under 24 players, but their under 24 players are pretty special. They have Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. And they are going against the 25 seed Phoenix Suns, who have Darius Bazley, DeAndre Ayton, Jordan Goodwin, and Josh Okogie, who I think is a free agent, but I counted him.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
This is a blowout waiting to happen.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
DeAndre Ayton isn't carrying the team?
Bro. Hold on. Wait. Have y'all heard the reports of the Suns players? The Suns giving players tryouts recently.
Giving who tryouts?
Yeah, like giving certain players tryouts.
No, I didn't.
Bro, they was giving Jabari Parker a tryout, man. That bench is gonna be cooked.
Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker hasn't laced that up in how long? They're
Bro,
gonna
we
get
were
Melo out of
starting,
retirement.
dude. We were starting Jabari Parker in a playoff series versus the Nets a couple years back, bro. Like Jabari Parker in 2023. Nah, it's over. It's over, bro.
Don't worry, they'll get T-Riz. They'll get
Suns are
T-Riz.
toast.
Well, it's over for Phoenix, man. I promise you, it's over.
When I was doing like the Suns young core, like I was like, because they're ranked as the 25 seed, and I was like, are they really that low? Like, because you would think like with a guy like DeAndre Ayton, and if we're comparing young cores, like, oh, maybe he's like a valuable young asset, but not like, I really couldn't put the Phoenix Suns higher than like 24, 23. Like that's the max they could be, and part of that has to be on DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're wanting your young core to be held down at an anchor point, if you will, by DeAndre Ayton, you're kind of fucked. Like you really are. And there's no better way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I still right. I still believe Aiden is a very capable player in this league, but the idea of DeAndre Aiden is way better than the actual player.
For sure. For sure. Let's move on to the 9 versus 24 matchup. 9-seeded Pelicans, their young core looks like Dyson Daniels, Jordan Hawkins, who they drafted with, was it the 13th pick, I believe? Kira Lewis Jr., Zion Williamson obviously headlines this group, Trae Mann, Jackson Hayes, and Herb Jones. And they go against the 24-seeded or 24-ranked Sacramento Kings. They have Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, and Davion Mitchell.
Yeah. Man, we're having some blowouts here in these low.
Some blowouts. It'll get closer. Don't worry. It'll get closer as we go.
I'm going with the Pelicans. I'm going to go with
the Pelicans.
Yeah, I'll take Pelicans as well. Who would you have put though? Because this is one of them I was debating. Not that it mattered because they both would have lost, but would you rather have that Kings young core or the Suns young core?
Oh,
is that a trick question?
I'm taking that Kings because
the
Kings
Kings
only have 3 players, but like I really do like Keegan Murray. I really like Davion Mitchell because he kind of reminds me of myself. And then Kevin Huerter is a knockdown 3-point shooter, which you can never have too many of those in the NBA.
Knockdown 3-point shooter until he went to the 3-point contest.
Bro, and I want to say something about Keegan Murray, man. Bro, we haven't even seen his whole ceiling yet, bro. I feel like Keegan Murray could potentially be like an underrated type of guy, a 20, 22 a night per game scorer, kind of like a Desmond Bane, but obviously like taller, playing like as a small forward or even a power forward. His offensive game, if he can just get the mid range and the inside game going as well, because he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league already. I don't have the exact stats, but he shot at above a 40% clip from 3 this season as a rookie. He even broke the rookie record for most threes in a season. So the sky's the limit for that man.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Nice. I saw a graphic and it was like best 3-point shooters, and it was like taking in to consideration like percentages and total made shots. And it was like best 3-point shooters on each location. And Keegan Murray dominated the corners, both corners. I was like, that's not even surprising to me, because that's what he does. He knocks down that corner 3 better than anybody else. All right, let's move on to the 10 versus 23. 10-seeded Indiana Pacers look like Jarris Walker, who they drafted out of Houston, Isaiah Jackson, Benedict Mathurin coming off an impressive rookie year, Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith, and Jordan Nwora. And they're going against the 23-seeded Washington Wizards, who have Bilal Coulibaly, who's playing in France with Victor Wembanyama, Johnny Davis, Denny Avdia, Daniel Gafford, Corey Kispert, and newly acquired Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole's the best name on that list, I think, personally.
And that's saying something.
Hey. Nah, bro, Jordan Poole's not you. You just put up 20 points.
Hey, Jordan Poole's my early pick to win most improved player next year.
Nah, I'm going with the Denny Avdia, his future teammate. Denny Avdia will win most improved player.
Hey, the Wizards got a couple candidates. I'll say that.
Yeah, but you got players like Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin holding down the Pacers.
I'm taking Pacers in this one. I'm taking
Yeah.
Pacers in this one.
That's what I was
But I'm
saying.
saying I'm just taking Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole's gonna have a good year next year.
All right.
We'll see. I mean, I hope he does. I like players to succeed more than not, So we'll see.
Right.
We shall see.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know, but I do like what the Wizards are doing with their rebuild so far. Of course, we understand the Bradley Beal trade, even the Porzingis trade, but for them to get such valuable assets, like a guy like Jordan Poole, bro, that just makes a difference, man.
they got Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, who they were probably gonna waive.
They're probably
gonna
gonna buy
waive
him
Chris
out.
Paul.
That's true. But speaking, can we talk about the Warriors real quick and
Yeah.
CP3?
Go ahead.
Bro, how are they gonna make that work?
CP3 is gonna come off the bench.
I
I don't think that's really a big thing. We've seen time and time again that CP3 can put together a young inexperienced squad because of his I don't know, his IQ, you could say. And we saw it when he went to the Thunder. Thunder were looking like booty trash, and then he went to the Thunder and they became a playoff team.
I don't know, man, but yeah, putting he's probably gonna play someone similar to a Kyle Lowry role with the Heat, but I don't know with how the Warriors roster is structured, adding a guy who can't really get to the basket on a team that can't. It's just mainly a jump shooting team. They can't get easy looks inside really, and CP3, his age currently, he's like what 38 right now.
He is
37,
38.
38, and so we don't know if CP3 is even going to be a reliable role player off the bench as like a 6-man. We don't know with his condition and his health and his injury history.
Well, from what I understand, I heard that the move was more of just like a purely contractual decision because from everything I heard, it's kind of like just to bring back Draymond Green this offseason. Like they already had Jordan Poole on 5 years. They had Wiggins, who just signed an extension. He was getting 30 mil a year. You had Curry getting like 60 mil a year. You had Clay getting like 45 mil a year. You couldn't have all those people making that for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So I think Chris Paul has 1 or maybe 2 years left on his contract. So from what I understood, it was like purely a contract decision, just to bring back Draymond.
No, which is very smart. I mean, Draymond is the anchor piece of the Warriors. So
yeah, no, I agree. Let's move on to an 11 versus 22 matchup. This one I think might be a little closer, maybe not. The Mavericks, their young core, they are the 11 seed. They have Derek Lively, who they drafted in this past draft. Jaden Hardy, Josh Green, Luka Doncic, the biggest name, and then former Knick, Frank Ntilikina. And they're going against the 22-seeded Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets young core looks like Dariq Whitehead and Jalen Wilson, who they drafted in this draft. Day'Ron Sharpe, Cam Thomas, David Duke Jr., and Nick Claxton. Who are we taking?
I have to agree with you in saying that this is a closer matchup.
This is closer. This is not going to be like the closest, but this is closer. This is the closest we've seen so far.
And I like the Nets young core. I mean, they're very put together. Whoever the GM is, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he put together
Sean
the
Marks.
core very well.
Sean Marks, yeah.
Sean Marks. But I mean, you're looking at the Mavericks. They have arguably a top 5 player in the league that is under 24. So I don't think you can really argue against that.
Yep. No, I 100% agree with you, Owen. The Mavericks have like the star player, and they have a top 5 guy in the league. They have a guy who you could honestly say is like the number 1 on the championship team. Versus the Brooklyn Nets have all the pieces you want to surround a number 1 on a championship team with. So for that reason, I got to take the team that has the number 1, and I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks.
Absolutely.
Bro, how old is Luka?
He's 24.
24.
Bro,
which makes sense if Trae Young was 24 and they came in the same draft.
Yeah, they came in the same draft.
We'll see later. MPJ was in that draft. He's on this list. Jaren Jackson's on this list. Mo Bamba could have been, or no, I think Mo Bamba was 25. But yeah, DeAndre Ayton was in that draft. He's on this list.
Right, but Luka, bro, he's been in the league for a minute now too.
He get
Bro.
with all of them. Is what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying like he came in the league like what 19.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe so. I think he was a little bit before he turned 20 when he came in.
Yeah, okay, and to put perspective on it, he came in the league at like what 19 back in 2018, right? And in his second year, he became a superstar.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
That boy is nuts. The magician. Wait, no, is that what they call him?
What is his nickname? What's Luka's nickname?
I mean, they say Luka Magic,
Yeah, it is Luka Magic.
but
Luka Magic.
the magician, I don't think that's what they call him. They call Facu Campazzo that.
The magician. Wasn't Facu playing in Dallas, or am I tripping?
No, I think he just played it with the Nuggets, and that was it. He went back to overseas.
Yeah, I believe so. That could be right.
All right. So are we good with Mavericks on that one?
I am good with the Mavericks. Luka's too
Dibo?
nice.
Yeah, we chilling.
All right. Nice. Let's move on to the 12 versus 22 matchup, if I can find it here. That looks like the 12 seeded Charlotte Hornets. They have 3 of their draft picks. They have Nick Smith, Brandon Miller, and Amari Bailey. They have Bryce McGowan's, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, Kai Jones, Teo Maladone, PJ Washington, and James Bouknight. And they're going against the 21 seeded Philadelphia 76ers. And the 76ers have Jaden Springer, Tyrese Maxey, B-Ball Paul, and Mac McClung. I had to throw him in for Owen.
My boy Mac. It's because I'm white, huh? No, I'm playing.
Hornets,
Yeah.
are we good with Hornets on this one?
I'm good with Hornets. I mean, they just drafted number 2 overall Brandon Miller. You can't really argue against that.
Even though I think he was the wrong pick.
Yeah, I agree, but he fits better with the Hornets system. Okay, the Hornets don't need a better fit; they need talent.
That's true. You usually go for the best available pick with a top 3, top 5 around that range.
You go for raw talent if you're in that position.
Yeah.
But what is Brandon Miller's ceiling when we're talking about Charlotte?
I mean, I don't know
That's a good
about his
question.
ceiling, but according to him, the team ceiling this year is NBA Finals.
I don't know what you want to do with that.
I see it. No, I mean, his ceiling.
I like the
don't know.
confidence, but
I mean, his ceiling is what, like one of the best two-way players in the league. That's the best case scenario, is it not?
yeah, all right.
That's his
I
ceiling.
feel like
That's his ceiling. I mean, but that's also his player comp. Paul George at his ceiling was one of the best two-way players in the league.
yeah.
But for me, I mean, it's kind of like speaking of the Hornets, the LaMelo Ball draft, right? So first overall in that draft was Anthony Edwards, and then second pick was the Warriors. And the Warriors, from all we understood, were debating between James Wiseman and LaMelo Ball, and they chose James Wiseman solely off fit, not as far as I know, right? Just because we don't have a big man, we need a center, and we already have these guards in Clay and Steph. Jordan Poole looks exciting. We don't need another guard, and we saw how that turned out. So for me personally, I'm always a fan, especially when you do have one of those top 3 picks. Just draft the best available talent, because talent works with talent at the end of the day.
Until it doesn't, but that's the topic for another day.
That's fair enough.
All right. I like Hornets there.
Yeah. All right. Next matchup, 13-seeded Raptors with Grady Dick, who they drafted, Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, Delano Banton, Christian Coloco, and Gary Trent for the time being. And then they are going against the Miami Heat, who are ranked 20th. The Miami Heat's young core looks like Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, who they drafted out of UCLA, Orlando Robinson, and Tyler Hero. I'm taking Raptors on this one.
Because of Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, I do like. And I also don't think the Heat really have another really high value guy outside of Tyler Hero. I do like Jaime Jaquez. I think he's going to be a pretty good piece for them, but we barely saw any of Nikola Jovic this season. Orlando Robinson had a very limited role, if any role, versus the Raptors, where you have Grady Dick, who I like. You have Scotty Barnes, as we've mentioned, who's a young talent, high value piece. Precious Achua, who looks like a good young center. And then Gary Trent, who, although I don't think he'll be on the roster for long, he gets to count for now. And he counts.
Yeah.
Alright.
If the Heat had someone along Tyler Hero's side that like was remotely like proven in the league, maybe I would take them, but I gotta go with the Raptors.
But so you're saying if Bam was younger, then you would take Miami?
Oh, if Tyler Hero and Bam were still here, I'd be taking them.
Yeah, if Bam was younger, I would.
They would not be ranked the 20th seed if they still had Bam as 24 or under.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah. Well, I'm not that high on Scotty Barnes as a player. I will take Toronto.
Yeah, not a big fan of Scotty, but it's all right. I still take them.
They got an interesting round next round. We're almost done with this first round. Owen, it is our two teams in the first round matchup.
Oh, no way.
It is 14th seeded New York Knicks. Miles McBride, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Jericho Sims. And then the Nuggets young core looks like Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, Zeke Naji, and MPJ. This is a closer one. I have a feeling that Dibo's going to have to decide this one.
Dude, this is a good matchup. I'm grinning ear to ear right now.
All right, I'll go first. I'm taking the Knicks. It's a similar reason as the one I gave to the Magic, but I kind of like our position versatility, right? We have a point guard in Emmanuel Quickley and Miles McBride, who Emmanuel Quickley's proven was a six-man runner-up this season, and he's continued to improve every year in the league. Quentin Grimes, who looks like one of the best 3-and-D young guys in the league, shooting guard. You have RJ Barrett, who there's a lot of controversy around the league about RJ and whether he's good or not. I personally am high on RJ, but I understand there's bias behind that. So if you don't like that, I understand. And then even Jericho Sims, who's one of the most explosive bigs, like just jumping and leaping. So I mean, I would take the Knicks, but if you take Denver, I'm not mad.
Hey, Jericho Sims probably had the worst dunk contest performance of all time.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree one bit.
Bro, that one dunk where like he
ripped the paper.
He ripped the paper out, bro. He ripped bro. He had 50 on the paper too, right? And he got ripped. Bro, like it was so corny.
No, he's a game dunker. Man. He's not meant for that shit.
That boy is goofy as hell.
All right, who are you going with?
So, here we go. I'm going to take the Nuggets. And I'm going to go based like solely off of what the future has with these four players. Really three players because I'm not a huge fan of Zeke Naji. But
I was about to say.
You got MPJ, who's looking healthier than ever since he's been in the league. And his shot obviously wasn't there in the finals, but we know he's one of the best shooters in the league without question. I mean, I believe his wide open three is the highest percentage three in the entire league. So you got him, and I think I would say his closest comparisons, RJ Barrett, and I think MPJ has a higher ceiling than RJ Barrett does.
For sure. I think MPJ is the best player out of these young cores. For sure.
So
I'll
you have that. Then your argument about Quentin Grimes being a huge 3-and-D player, I believe we have two players that could end up being better than that in that role with Christian Braun and Peyton Watson. Christian Braun, I think, would be a closer comparison because he's about the same size. And obviously Christian Braun's shot still has to get there a little bit, but I believe that's just going to come with a little bit of time. And Quentin Grimes has been in the league longer than Christian Braun has. But I will say Christian Braun is a dog. I mean, we've seen that through this playoff run. I think he can do or have a more impact on like the hustle defensive plays than Quentin Grimes can.
I don't know. We saw Quentin Grimes literally have like a hamstring cramp, fall down mid play, and still rip up Jimmy Butler. So I mean, hustle plays is debatable.
Yeah, sure. And then Peyton Watson is the real wild card here because I mean, towards the end of the Nuggets regular season, Michael Malone started playing him a lot more as players were injured, resting, whatever you want to call it. And we've seen some crazy high potential for Peyton Watson. I mean, his offensive bag is looking to grow by the day, and you've seen that as he played throughout the season. whether it was in garbage time minutes towards the end of the season when he started playing a lot more. But his defense is something to marvel at. I mean, that one game when he played against Steph Curry, he blocked 3 of Steph's floaters. And, I mean, those were way up there. And Peyton Watson's only 6'7". And he's just got that athletic explosiveness to be, hey, I would say a paint force when Jokic is not.
No, I understand. I understand the potential thing, but I would ask you to look at Emmanuel Quickly's potential, if anything. I mean, what did
Can he
Emmanuel
go that
Quickly
much
do
further?
in the 2 weeks that Jalen Brunson was injured? He stepped into that lineup and had a 40-point triple-double against Dibo's Boston Celtics. He had multiple 30-point outings. He had multiple double-digit double-doubles where he was passing the ball like nobody's business. So, like, for me, I really do like Christian Braun. You know how much I like him. You know how much I like Peyton Watson. But as much as I like those two guys, I don't see them having the potential of Emmanuel Quickly, who, when Emmanuel Quickly has stepped into a starting lineup, has looked like a top 10 point guard in the league. And that's not even an over-exaggeration. Like, when Emmanuel Quickly has gotten the minutes and the role to be aggressive, he has stepped up to the plate. So, I mean, I like him there. Christian Braun and Quentin Grimes, you can go back and forth there. I don't know who has the higher ceiling, but I would just say, like, I like the three-point shooting ability as of right now of Quentin Grimes. That's why I would take him over Christian Braun right now, even though I do think that they are very similar players and their defense is the calling card for both of them. Michael Porter Jr., like I said, is the best player out of all of these young cores, but I still think RJ is very high potential, especially he had a good playoff run. I know people like to clown on him for the Heat series, but outside of 2 games in this playoffs, he was very good. And then even Miles McBride, you know how much I like Miles McBride, but he has all NBA defensive potential.
Is that just Tibbs' defensive scheme working together with all the players?
No, because like a lot of teams, like if there's one possession left, right? Like let's say there's 30 seconds left in the half or 30 seconds left in the fourth. And let's say the Nuggets and the Knicks are playing, right? What Tibbs always would do is sub in Miles McBride for that last defensive possession. He was by far like better than Quentin Grimes, better than RJ Barrett, better than Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly, by the way, underrated defensively as well. Miles McBride is by far our best perimeter defender.
Emmanuel Quickly's small, man.
He's small, but hey, what happened at that game that we were at?
No, he can still guard.
I'm not saying he can't, but I think
that game-winning block
overhyping
on Jamal Murray.
I don't.
Nah,
I don't
he's small, but he's quick and agile, so he's like very pesty.
I think he does remind me of a Bones Highland.
Yeah, except the
but he's better. He's better.
Don't disrespect him.
I'll sit here and say Emmanuel Quickly's better than Bones 11 times out of 10.
Was it like that 6 months ago?
6 months is a bit of a stretch. I would say a year ago I was saying Bones is better.
Yeah.
Before 6 months ago, I think I started switching. But yeah, no, I'm still taking the Nuggets, man. I'm super high on these players that we haven't seen as much as I think we're going to see in the next season.
Rightfully so. I don't blame you. I really don't. Dibo, who you got? Who are you? You got to be the tiebreaker here.
Man, I gotta be the deciding factor about this. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, y'all got me in a predicament right now, man. I'm okay. All right. I do like both of these teams' young cores. I feel like MPJ and RJ are 2 guys that are very while flawed, very talented players to be the main piece in the young core nucleus. But if I'm going by each team's roster, I feel like I'm going with the Knicks young core.
Dibo, that is why you're a man of class.
Really? That's crazy.
I'm going with the Knicks young core. Emmanuel Quickly, I'm high on too. He had a great stretch in the regular season in like the last 1 or 2 months. Him being a high energy guy, a 6-man coming off the bench, very solid defensively for his size. Quentin Grimes, he's one of the most underrated 3-and-D guys in the whole league. I'm very high on him as well. And to top it off, Obi top. What? Did we Did you say Obi Toppin as well?
No, he was a 4-year player at Dayton, so he did not make the cut.
Okay. I was gonna say him too, but
I do like Obi though. I do really like Obi Toppin.
yeah. But so wait, my decision comes down to between Barrett and MPJ, and I feel like right now Barrett is the better player, so I am going with
Really? That's crazy.
I think MPJ is the better player, but I think that RJ has really shrunk that gap. I think RJ's really shrunk that gap.
Dibo, I think you're crazy, but
you can go either way, but I just think I got RJ.
Hey, I don't hate it.
Of course you don't.
All right. No, I told you. That wasn't even like one of the close ones I was predicting. Like I thought that one was gonna be tighter, but I didn't think we were gonna spend like 8 minutes on it.
Hey, that means I made a good case.
Hey, not good enough. 15 seeded Trailblazers look like Scoot Henderson, Ryan Rupert, and Chris Murray, who they all drafted this year. Shaden Sharp, Keon Johnson, Trenton Wofford, Nazir Little, Cam Reddish, and Anthony Simons, and they're going against the 18th seeded Utah Jazz, who have Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensenbaugh, who they all drafted in this draft, Walker Kessler, Taylor Horton Tucker, Johnny Juzang, O'Shea Abaji, and Colin Sexton.
Dang, THT's still under 24?
He's like 23.
That boy stink, but John Collins, he's not on that list.
He's 25.
Damn.
25.
But that was a steal too, by the way.
That was a steal of a trade.
Yeah, bro, they basically gave up John Collins for a bag of chips, dude.
For a second-round pick. That's absurd.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's really ridiculous, dude.
Danny Ainge, man, what's complete steal from Danny Ainge. That CBA cooking a lot of teams right now. We already seen it.
Yeah. All right. So who are we taking in this one?
I'm gonna take the Blazers.
I'm gonna take the Blazers as well.
I will take Portland as well, but too bad is going to be ruined by Dame still being on the team. So
what can you do? I'm fine with Dame still being on the team, especially because when you look at their young core, it's like the three most enticing pieces: Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaden Sharp are all guards. If you can have a guard like Dame, who's one of the all-time greats, going to be a future Hall of Famer, mentoring and coaching them in the locker room, I'm fine with that, especially if it's for 1 or 2 years, max.
All right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Portland versus the Jazz, and it's like, okay, you got a little bit more defense on the Jazz, I would say, but I think the potential of Portland's offensive players is going to vastly outweigh the Jazz's good defense.
Yeah, but I do like the Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks picks. I think the Jazz had a really good draft. Last matchup of the first round, we see the 16-seeded Spurs with newly acquired Victor Wembanyama, Malachi Branham, Jeremy Sochan, Blake Wesley, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, and Romeo Langford. And they're going up against the 17-seeded Golden State Warriors, who have Patrick Baldwin Jr., Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody.
Bro, how are the Spurs 16?
How do you have the Spurs this low?
You think the Spurs should be higher?
Yeah, Wembanyama, like such a bro. Like we've seen Wembanyama cook overseas in Europe.
Spurs with that core could have been like top 10.
Oh, that man Wemby was cooking grown adults, bro. He's gonna be a great
I told you I didn't know where to place him. Unfortunately for them, they're going up against the 1 seed next round, so their round might be short-lived before taking them.
Bro, I'm taking the Spurs without question, bro. This is a Spurs in 3.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this man Wemby is going to be a borderline player within the next 2 seasons, bro.
Oh, I don't doubt that. And he, especially because he's like the only dude in the draft who's going to be like the guy on the team for where he landed. Like Scoot Henderson obviously has to defer to Dame. Brandon Miller obviously has to defer to Lamelo. But like the Spurs really don't have shit. Like I understand Keldon is an exciting piece. Same with Devin Vassell. But like they're not taking touches away from Wemby.
Yeah, and when you look at Wemby's overall profile, right? Okay, he's not a good perimeter shooter. He's horrible from 3, but he's a great slasher. He's great inside the paint. The size already 7'5", bro. His height, great rim defender, his dribbling, his scoring ability, with the ball in his hands, bro. We've never seen a guy like Wemby, and we said this before, especially you, man. We've said this before that he's a demigod, right? And the only way for him to not be at his high potential is, of course, his injuries. Yeah, with his size, with him being scrawny. But I've heard old people say like, "Oh, we've seen this before with bigs, with tall bigs like him, Sam Bowie, Sean Bradley, like anomalies when it comes to height." But they unfortunately didn't have the careers, like a perennial all-star and guys like that. But Wemby, he's just different. You've never seen a guy like him before who can score off the dribble at his height and size and be as great of a player offensively like he is defensively.
No, for sure. The reason I had him so low was just because if you take Wemby off this young core, right? They're probably closer to the 20s. Yeah? They're probably teetering around 18, 19, 20. And that, for me, I agree with you. I think Victor Wembanyama is generational. But I didn't want to put that young core over a young core with a bona fide star that we've already seen in the league.
Okay.
I mean, I can understand that, but I still think you're crazy.
All right. Well, let's move on. The next matchup is the 16 Spurs versus the number 1 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. The OKC Thunder, you can guess why they're the number 1 seed. After you hear their young core. Their young core looks like Cason Wallace, who they drafted, Ousmane Dieng, who they drafted last year, Josh Giddey, Jay Will, J Dub, Chet Holmgren, Poku, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Damn, SGA is still young, dude. That's crazy.
SGA is 24.
That's crazy. Yeah, God, dude. Hearing those players, yeah, you gotta go with the Thunder.
Yeah.
I can totally see why you say I have them at the 1 seed.
Yeah.
It's
just
pretty crazy.
It was nonstop.
They're stacked.
How many good players they have.
Stacked.
Yeah, I'm going with the Thunder as well. And I kind of have a hot take right now. Bro, they're going to be a top 5 team in the West.
I think so too.
Easily.
Really?
Bro, they're going to win damn near 50 games, bro. I promise you that.
I don't know about 50, but 45, I think so.
Around that range, yeah. Bro,
Yeah.
they got the borderline superstar already. Great secondary pieces in J Dub, Josh Giddey. They bring in Chet back, and they were already successful as it was this season without without a good big, without a center. I mean, I like Jalen Williams, but nah, he needs to be on the bench. And you bring a guy like Chet Holmgren in, who he came into the league as an elite rim protector from Gonzaga. He has a very solid offensive game around him, and you bring his caliber to an already stacked young core, bro. The sky's the limit for the Thunder, man.
Rumor in the street is Chet Holmgren's coming for Victor Wembanyama's Rookie of the Year.
I have heard that, and we're gonna get a Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
Chet
if that
versus
happens,
Wemby,
the media won't let it happen.
Is gonna be nuts, like Jason Tatum.
Bro, but Chet versus Wemby, that gotta be national TV, man. I'll be there no matter what.
All right,
I'll be.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the 9 versus 8 matchup. 8-seeded Timberwolves. I'll remind you guys, they look like Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. And they're going against the 9-seeded Pelicans, who have Dyson Daniels, Jordan Hawkins, Kira Lewis Jr., Zion, Trey Murphy, Jackson Hayes, and Herb Jones. Who are we taking?
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. 9 versus 8. As you could assume, it would be tough.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. This might be a little crazy. I'm going to take the T-Wolves.
Explain.
I'm going to
talk about it. Tell us why.
So I think Anthony Edwards' ceiling is higher than Zion's, which could be a little bit of a bold take. But at the same time, so you have to think that's your like headliners of the two rosters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Anthony Edwards is out there playing almost every game of the season.
I was about to say
that's a pretty valuable thing. The biggest what's the quote? The biggest something
The
like
best ability
value.
is
Yeah,
availability.
the best ability is availability. That's what
you.
I was looking for.
I got you.
So you have that. I'm extremely high on McDaniels. I think he's a huge impact to the Wolves. I mean, do I think they would have beat the Nuggets if they had him? No, but I think it would have been a better series with him. I mean, I think he's that much of an impactful player. Nikhil Alexander-Walker is a good defender. He can shoot the three. And
He's a
Naz Reid, I'm also
for me.
really high on. I'm really high on Naz Reid, and I've said that on a couple podcasts before. Yeah,
shout out Naz Reid, got a bag recently.
Yeah, he did get a bag, and it's well deserved.
3 for 42, 3 years, 42 M's.
I think that's a steal for the T-Wolves, to be honest. I think Naz Reid is still not even anywhere close to his ceiling.
I thought he was going to leave this free agency. I can't lie.
That's true.
No, and I think you hit it on the head, though. For me, like, I do like looking at the other pieces in this one, but when I compare the stars of Anthony Edwards and Zion Williamson, one has way less question marks than the other. Obviously, when Zion plays, he's an MVP caliber player. Let's just be honest. They were 1 seed, 2 seed when he was there, but what happens? Then he's gone for the rest of the year when his hamstring becomes mush. He has all this stuff with Mariah Mills. She's getting her face tattoo with his name on it, which is, let's just say it, that's ridiculous. But even like Jaden McDaniels, I'm high on Herb Jones, but I think I would rather have Jaden McDaniels over Herb Jones. I would rather have Naz Reid over Jackson Hayes. And Jackson Hayes is the only front court young player that the Pelicans really have, unless you want to count Trey Murphy as a front court player. But for me, I'm taking the Timberwolves in this one.
Yep. Good choice.
Dibo?
All right. So I feel like the Pelicans, their young core, well, overall, their whole roster is probably the most overrated roster in the entire league.
Dang.
Why you say that?
So you're telling me that one guy, right, when one guy goes out, that's the difference between a top 3 team in the Western Conference compared to not making the playoffs, losing a playing game. Bro, we don't believe New Orleans, man. I can't, bro. Like, I mean, on paper, they have the guys, right? Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, even older guys like B.I., Valanciunas, C.J. McCollum, other guys that I mentioned too. But
Garrett Temple off the bench.
No. But
Jose?
Yeah, Alvarado too. But man, I just feel like there's holes with the team in general that make me think like, man, I really feel like the majority of NBA fans, I think we jumped the gun with how good this Pelicans team really is.
I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to grade them just because of the limitations that we've seen. Like, how many games have we seen of CJ, BI, and Zion together? Isn't it like
none?
Can you count it on one hand? Isn't it like 4 or something?
It's something ridiculously low.
Like, so I understand that perspective because that's very true. But I also think we have to give them a benefit of the doubt and say like we've never seen them play together. But then again, that's also like, when are we going to see them play together?
Oh, availability is the best ability, man. And like,
what's
showing me is that you guys can't stay healthy consistently throughout the entire season.
Exactly. Like Zion's missed I think Zion's played less than what was it, 30% of the games or 40% of the games.
Bro, Mariah Mills has more tweets than he has games played.
Yeah, BI is definitely not the pillar of health, and CJ McCollum always seems to have some nagging injury that he never wants to sit out to take care of, but he can never play through it. So it's when will we see them play healthy? But it's also we've never seen them play healthy.
Yeah, it's a big question mark for sure.
Yeah.
Gotta go T-Wolves.
Yeah, so let's go T-Wolves there. Next matchup is 5-seeded Pistons. I'll remind you of what they look like. They have Jalen Duren, Oscar Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Livers, and Hamidou Diallo. And they go up against the Hornets, who have Amari Bailey, Nick Smith, Brandon Miller, Bryce McGowan, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, Kai Jones, Teo Maladon, PJ Washington, and James Bouknight.
Wait, so it's the Hornets versus who?
Pistons.
Pay attention, Dibo.
Facts.
Yeah, my fault.
I'm taking Pistons.
I'm taking Pistons too.
I'll go with Detroit.
Detroit.
I think you got the two headliners again, right? You have Lamelo and Cade.
Yeah.
And I think Cade's better.
I think Cade's better, but I also think the surrounding pieces are way better.
Exactly. So
you think Cade Cunningham was better than LaMelo?
Yeah. What? I didn't think that was a hot take.
I haven't seen enough of LaMelo, dude.
But what do you mean an all-star team?
Like a year or two ago, right? 2 years ago.
No, bro, that's more than Cade. LaMelo, at least he's taken his team to. His team's been more competitive. Yeah, bro, that's more than what Cade's done.
I don't know. They've never surrounded Cade though. Like Cade had basically 1 year. He had his rookie year and then he got hurt this year. But they've always brought in veterans on the Hornets, right? They had Mason Plumlee. They also had like Gordon Hayward when he was still a piece. They had the Terry Rozier and he's still on the roster. But like the Pistons have consistently just had a youth movement around Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
And in fact, they've even like lowered his. They've even decreased the talent around him by trading like guys like Jeremy Grant away.
Yeah, no,
but I mean, even if you're taking LaMelo Ball, the second best player in the Hornets young core is probably Brandon Miller, who we haven't seen play a single minute, versus the Pistons, who have guys like Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, James Wiseman, Osor Thompson, who they drafted as well, Isaiah Stewart. So like. They have the depth that I think overpowers the Hornets.
Yeah.
All right. I got one question about Detroit, man.
Yeah.
How are they gonna work that whole lineup out with Cade, Ivy, and Thompson?
Cade and Ivy have to start. I think that's pretty clear. I think you get Jalen Duren at the 5, like I mentioned. I think that those three positions are locked. I personally like seeing Isaiah Stewart play that 4 for them. It might be Bojan Bogdanovic, and then they play like Osor Thompson at the 3. Or I could see them going with Bojan at the 3 and Isaiah Stewart at the 4. But I think Bojan would stay in the starting lineup.
Fair.
What about you? What do you think it would look like?
Pretty much like you said before.
Yeah.
Cade at the 1. Ivy at the 2, Thompson at the 3, Bogdanovic's at the 4, then Duren at the 5.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think Bojan has to stay in the lineup. I don't know if Monty will throw the rookie right into the starting lineup. I think it depends what the Pistons try to do this year. Whether they see this year as like let's just get another high pick and let's rebuild, or whether they want to push to that play-in spot. I think it depends.
All right.
So Dibo, you got
so taking the Pistons there. Next matchup is the 4-seeded Rockets, which is Kim Whitmore, Amen Thompson, Alpi, Jabari Smith, Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba, Jalen Green, Tari Easton, Kevin Porter Jr., and Kenyon Martin Jr. versus the Raptors, who have Grady Dick, Scotty Barnes, Precious Achua, Delano Banton, Christian Coloco, and Gary Trent.
I'm gonna go with the Rockets.
This one's not too close to me.
Nah, I'm going with the Rockets.
I'll go with Rockets too.
This one's a layup. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah, I don't know if Grady Dick is going to be anywhere near that guy enough to push them over the hump.
Next matchup is Magic versus Knicks. Are we all good taking Magic? I don't got to read the names.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm going
Magic is good there.
All right. Next matchup is the 6-seeded Cavs. The Cavs, I'll remind you what they look like. Emoni Bates, Evan Mobley, and Isaiah Mobley, Isaac Okoro, and Darius Garland. And they're going up against the 11-seeded Mavericks, who have Derek Lively, Jaden Hardy, Josh Green, Luka Doncic, and Frank Ntilikina. This one,
I'm going with the
Mavs.
Mavs.
Guys taking?
I'm going with the Mavs.
Y'all probably take the Mavs too.
Okay.
And
Explain
I think
Explain why.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give the same reason I gave before, because I think Luka is kind of just like a trump card, you know. Like he's just like, it's like
I'm taking the Cavs. I'm taking the
really.
Cavs. I'm taking the Cavs. Just two beats one. I understand Luka's the top heavy talent, but I don't see a second All-Star in the Dallas young core. Like I like the potential of Josh Green and Jaden Hardy, but I don't think that either of them can reach All-Star level. Whereas I think Evan Mobley could be there in a year or two. I think Darius Garland has already made an All-Star game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so like it's just a simple thing of 2 versus 1. Plus, you get a guy like Isaac Okoro, who, although he has his struggles, he's continued to improve his 3-point shot, and we know what he brings on defense. And then I like them taking a flyer on a guy like Emoni Bates. I'm not extremely high on him, but I would be lying if I said he doesn't have high potential.
What high potential do you mean?
Just the high potential that he had coming out of high school. The ones that saw him ranked extremely high, going into one of the best college programs like Memphis. Obviously, Memphis didn't work out. That's why he went to Eastern Michigan, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And he's obviously not going to get the type of opportunity that he got at Eastern Michigan, where he's the number one option and everything has to go through him. That's not going to be the scenario. And that's what scares me. That's why I'm like not extremely high on him, because if he's not scoring, it's kind of like, what is he doing on the court? But if he can figure out what he's doing on the court, then this is a really good draft pick. It's a low risk, high reward move.
It's a big if.
I don't know, man. I'm not that high on Emoni Bates. I feel like the people around him, I think they failed him with him reclassifying back in high school, him going to Memphis at such a young age. I think he was like 17, playing there already, and with his size, him being so scrawny, and him his play style as well, not translating to the college level, I think that really hurt him. And I feel like if he just spent a year or two in Eastern Michigan, then I have a better opinion on him. But I just don't see him working out in the NBA.
That's fair. That's fair. Did I convince either of you, or are you guys still going Mavericks?
No, I'm going Mavericks because I think
Mavericks
better than Darius Garland and
fair.
Mobley together.
Oh, this is a good matchup. This next one is a good matchup. But that's fair. I understand. I'm not going to argue because Luka is Luka. The next matchup sees the 7th-seeded Atlanta Hawks, who, let me find what they're looking like. They are looking like Kobe Bumpkin, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Sadiq Bey, and Trae Young, versus the 10th-seeded Indiana Pacers, who have Jarris Walker, Isaiah Jackson, Benedict Mathurin, Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith, and Jordan Nwora.
I'm going with Atlanta.
I think I'm going with Atlanta too.
Well,
I think I'm going with
I'm
Atlanta
going to make the
too.
case for the Pacers.
Hmm?
I'm going to make the case for the Pacers.
Please do, because you could convince me. I'm like on the fence right here.
Because here's the thing, and I haven't been high on Trae Young ever, and I legitimately think in either this year or the next coming year, what can Trae Young do that Halliburton can't?
The 3-point shot.
Oh, please, bro. Halliburton's a shooter, bro.
He's like a set shooter though. He can't really. He's not great off the dribble shooting.
Yeah, like score at a very high level like Trae.
Yeah, he's like. He's not as aggressive, but he's a much better defender. He makes up for that on the defensive end, I would say.
I think when you come up in these next year or two, I think he'll be at that level, if not better than Trae Young. And then you got Benedict Mathurin, who's a pure scorer off the bench, highly athletic, who can get some momentum plays moving. And I don't really know if the Hawks got a guy that's quite going to match that at the second spot.
AJ Griffin?
I think he's okay. I don't think he's Benedict Mathurin. And then and you got guys like Nesmith and Nembhard. They're looking to be promising for sure.
Nah, Nesmith is trash. Nembhard I do like though, but I'm not high on Andrew Nesmith.
Oh, come on, man.
Wait, okay. So let's go back to this Trae versus Halliburton debate, right?
Let's do it.
So you're telling me that Halliburton has the potential to be like what, a top 15 player in the league, like Trae Young?
You're having Trae Young that high?
That's like his absolute peak, because we've seen it before with the deep playoff run and his ability as a basketball player. We've seen him be what, at best, a borderline top 12, 15 player in the NBA, or like a borderline superstar. And I just don't see that with Halliburton.
I think you're overrating Trae like crazy.
I agree. Him and Danny have Trae way too high, dude.
How do I not have Trae too high? How do I have Trae too high?
Here's what I'll say. Trae is like a guy like Trae Young has led the league in points and assists last season. And what was his team? The 8th seed that lost in 5. Like at some point you got to look at how much those stats are affecting winning.
Bro,
and Tyrese Halliburton's the guy. Tyrese Halliburton's a guy who he's not going to put up the same number of points. He'll put up the assists. He'll carry in that stat, but you can 100% allude to the fact that Tyrese Halliburton is individually making his teammates better. Can you say DeJounte Murray had a down year when playing with Trae? John Collins has gotten worse. We've seen
Collins is not good.
We've seen Clint Capella. We've seen Clint Capella dominate with elite guards like James Harden and Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. Like Clint Capella was damn near top 8, top 5 at one point in his career. He's been nothing close to that except on that deep playoff run they went. Like so, at some point we have to ask, like, is it stats? Like it's not stat sheet stuffing, but it's close to it.
Bro, this man Trae legit took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Bro, you can't keep living off that.
Bro, what has Halliburton done in the league compared to Trae?
Halliburton hasn't had the pieces that Trae has had in his short career.
Pacers were the 3 seed before Halliburton got hurt. I'll say that. That's why I had them so high. You know how I feel about the Pacers, Dibo. I have them being high this year.
Matt, and I think you said it pretty well. I think Halliburton is going to be the player that I would want on my team that can make the right decisions that will make it a winning team.
Dibo, you also got to think about it this way, right? Trae Young is going to put up the points in the assists, right? We know that. Can you tell me what Trae Young is supposed to do on the court if he's not putting up the points or assists?
Okay.
Silence.
He's sitting
What
there.
What about Halliburton?
Halliburton's so much better than Trae.
He's a good rebounder, and he plays very good defense.
We're gonna sit here and act like
Halliburton that good of a defender. I do agree with you. I do agree with you on Halliburton being more a plus defender than a negative, but I think you're gassing up his defensive ability a lot.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
He's a plus perimeter defender.
Dibo, you just said he's a plus defender, yeah, but Trae Young is like below rock bottom on the defensive end. I think there's got to be something there that can say it or hold its own.
I think his offensive game outweighs his defensive liabilities.
I don't
think about Halliburton.
Dibo, think about it this way too. Like Miles Turner has played with a good fair share of good point guards in his time, right? He's played with Darren Collison. He's played with Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon, T.J. McConnell. This year by far was his best year, and it was his first full season with Tyrese Halliburton. Like we're seeing in his limited time of being a number 1 ball handler and being the guy who initiates the offense, like he's making players better around him. Benedict Mathurin, a guy who a lot of people were sketchy on the pick. He had a great rookie year. Buddy Hield, who had a couple down years in Sacramento when De'Aaron Fox was handling the ball, he had a rebound year this year and shot great from 3-point range. So like we've seen Tyrese Halliburton make these players better, and that's exactly what you want out of a point guard.
Yeah, I think Halliburton's a winning player, whereas I don't think I can say the same about Trae Young.
I'm taking the Hawks young core though. I'm taking Tyrese over Trae, but I think the pieces around Trae are better. Like Onyeka Okongwu excites me as a young piece. I really do like him. I think Jalen Johnson, he's going to step into that 4 role and replace John Collins pretty well, if not better. I think AJ Griffin is going to be a really good player. Like I'm actually super high. I like the Cody Bumpkin pick. I like Sadiq Bey, like versus the Pacers, who they have Halliburton, they have Nimhard, and they have Benedict Mathurin, but that's about it for me.
Bro, Owen.
I do like Jarvis Walker though.
All right, so Owen. So a player that has been in the playoffs 3 times, with one of them being a deep conference finals run, and with Trae Young, they're consistently Atlanta, one of the best offensive teams year in and year out. And you're saying that that's not a winning player. That's not a guy that can contribute towards winning basketball. That's crazy to me.
And I think you're overrating him based off that one Western Conference Finals run, because you said he's been to the playoffs.
Eastern.
Eastern. That's what I meant to say. My bad. I had a little brain fart. And he's been 3 times, one of those being Eastern Conference Finals, and he's still averaging a first-round exit. I don't think that's a winning player to me.
Okay.
And so you're talking one of the best offensive teams in the league. Yeah, when is that offense gonna be so good that it can make up for his defensive liabilities? Because we haven't seen that yet.
One day, the world will know about Trae Young's abilities as a basketball player. That day is not come yet officially.
That day only exists when he played in MSG.
It will come. It will come
That's
soon.
true.
It will come. It will come very soon, and y'all will truly understand that Trae Young is a borderline superstar. He's probably a top 5 player in his position, and borderline top 20 player in this league. So
Who you taking right now? Trae Young or Jalen Brunson?
Trae Young.
Trae Young or Jamal Murray?
Trae Young.
Kick him from the video.
I'm running this party right now. So
Bro, I think you're so overrating Trae. It's crazy, but we got to move on to the next round.
All right, so Dibo, who are you going with? Because Owen's going Pacers, I'm going Hawks.
I'm going Hawks.
You said Hawks.
Yeah,
you can't change Debo's mind on that with him being a Trae Young laser.
This one's going to be pretty quick too. I think that this one will be quick. 2 seeded, we have a new team that we have not met. Let me introduce you to them. That is the Memphis Grizzlies. They have Kenny Lofton Jr., Jake LaRavia, Zaire Williams, Santi Aldama, CSU Ram David Roddy.
Hell yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and Xavier Tillman. And they're going against the 15-seeded Trailblazers, who have Scoot, Ryan Rupert, Chris Murray, Shaden Sharp, Keon Johnson, Trey Wofford, Nazir Little, Cam Reddish, and Anthony Simons. We good with the Grizzlies on this one?
I'm good with Memphis there.
I got Memphis.
Yeah. That Grizzlies young core is nice.
Sure.
Right.
If they can't keep their act together, though, I'll tell you what.
Hey,
let's go back up.
Smart, bro. Marcus Smart will save the team. I promise you. The veteran leadership he has, the heart and soul. Hey, they gonna bring it back.
He could have dyed his hair blue and it's over.
Hey, man. I think he's gonna keep it green.
He gonna get some VC and that crazy.
He gonna keep it green. I'll leave it at that.
That's crazy.
All right, number 1 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll remind you what they have. They have Cason Wallace, Ousmane Dieng, Josh Giddey, Jay Will, J Dub, Chet Poku, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, and Shea. And they're going against the 8th-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, who have Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. Thunder? I got Thunder.
I think it's closer than you think, but I'm still taking Thunder.
I don't think so. I just think the depth of their young talent, like having Josh Giddey as your second best young player and J Dub as your third best. Where does Chet Holmgren rank? I don't know. Where does Lou Dort rank? I don't know. Like to have all those names, and I haven't even mentioned the rookies that are coming in, Poku or Jalen Williams. Like they just have so much depth. Sam Presti's a madman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would agree. I think their depth is what's going to carry them through this whole tournament we're having.
Yeah,
but I think the only thing that's keeping it closer is that I think Anthony Edwards is better than Shea is.
I think it's close between the two, but it's close. I don't know who I would take.
I'm going Shea.
All right, this one's going to be close. Maybe I don't know how high you guys are. I know you guys like the Rockets young core a lot, but the Rockets 4 seed. I'll remind you of them. They have Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, Al P, Jabari Smith, Josh Christopher, Ousmane Dieng, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Kevin Porter Jr., and Kenyon Martin Jr. And they're going against the Pistons this time, who have Jalen Duren, Oscar Thompson, so a battle of the Thompson twins, Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Livers, and Amadou Diallo.
Damn, this might be the hardest one we've ever done.
All right, I'll go first then because I'm already decided. I'm taking Pistons.
I'm taking Pistons as well.
I'm taking Pistons.
I think Cunningham's
you want me to explain why, Dibo? You looked a little confused. I'll explain why.
I'm starting, bro. I'm thinking. I'm still thinking.
I'll say why. Let's just go top for top. Cade Cunningham and Al P. Or I'll just go by positions, right? So they have Kevin Porter Jr. at the 1, the Rockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And or Amen Thompson or Jalen Green. I don't know who you want to go with. But let's just say Kevin Porter Jr. because that's who they've been starting. versus Cade Cunningham. I'm taking Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
Jalen Green versus Jaden Ivey. You guys are high on Jalen Green. I'm not very high. I would take Jaden Ivey. I like his potential.
Why, bro?
Bro, I'm sorry, but the inefficiencies of Jalen Green, I cannot get over.
He just needs to
I
mature.
wasn't that efficient either this season.
He shot almost the same from 3-point rating. Oh, there goes Owen. He shot almost the same from 3-point rating as Scotty Barnes, who you guys say is like extremely inefficient.
Oh, all right. Jalen Green. A lot of people don't see the talent he has, but I'm a Jalen Green believer.
I'm with you, Dibo, and I do definitely think he's better than Jaden Ivey.
But is his potential higher than Jaden Ivey's?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I think it is.
It is.
Literally, I'm telling you, when Jalen Green matures, he's going to be a pretty solid player in this league.
I don't know. You guys love to talk about how Scotty Barnes is inefficient and has no 3-point shot, but Jalen Green was barely shooting better than him from 3 this year as a shooting guard. I want to remind you of that. As a shooting guard, not as a power forward who's primarily back to the basket, as a shooting guard.
Okay, but when you look at Jalen Green and Scotty Barnes, when you compare the two, Jalen Green has a much higher ceiling than Scotty. We just can't ignore that. When it comes to
you're saying this, it's all potential is my problem with Jalen Green. I understand he's this dude who's high flying, who looked great in the G League, who was an elite prospect out of high school, but it's all potential. We're yet to see it in the league. At least Scotty Barnes had a phenomenal rookie season. I understand he had his sophomore wall, but he won Rookie of the Year, was a vital piece to the Toronto Raptors making the playoffs that year, even though they were a first-round exit. But, like, we've at least seen Scotty do something in the league. I understand Jalen Green has this potential, but we're yet to see it, and that's my problem with it. At some point, that potential has to turn into something.
22.
How have we not seen Jalen Green's potential over the past since he's been in the league? How can you tell me that, bro? You can't tell me that.
I don't care about a dude who's averaging 20 when his team can't do anything and he's shooting completely inefficiently.
Dude,
he's shooting.
You know why he's shooting that? He's shooting that poorly because he's had a shitty coach and shitty pieces around him.
Bro, there's no playmaking within. There was no playmaking within the squad since Jalen Green was there until they made Sengun the primary ball handler towards the end of this season.
No, I agree with you. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's a piece. That I think the Rockets, their best young piece is LP. I think he's better than Jalen Green.
I agree.
I agree too as well.
Okay, but if we're talking about the Pistons, like, I think Cade is better than LP. I think he projects to be better too. I said I would rather have Jaden Ivey over Jalen Green. Jaden Ivey, you want to say the same thing. What playmaker did the Pistons have last year? Can you tell me, especially when Cade Cunningham missed most of the season?
They had Ivey.
Exactly. He had to be the main ball handler. And I would say that his rookie year was more impressive to me than Jalen Green's. His rookie year?
I'm stretching.
Okay. Because I'm just gonna say I don't even think Jalen Green was a first all-team rookie his rookie year. We already know about the big man depth of the Pistons young core with Jalen Duren, James Wiseman, who's had a revitalization, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart.
I'm not that high. I'm not that high.
Who?
Wiseman.
Wiseman's a backup 5. I'm fine if he's my backup 5.
Okay.
But
I'm fine if he's my backup 5.
What pushes me over for the Pistons over the Rockets, though, is got to be Duren. Oh, my God. That dude's a force. He's exactly what you want in a big man. Even though he's a little bit undersized, but he makes up where he's undersized, he makes up for it in his physical athleticism and everything else. And he pushes it over. Him with Cade is going to be nuts, especially if Ivy can develop, which I think we have seen it. He can develop a little bit better than he is at the moment. But yeah, I got to take Pistons. Oh, where'd he go?
No, Matt going.
Where'd he go?
Man, I don't think I've said it before, but I'm gonna go with the Rockets. I'm going with the Rockets as the better young core.
All right.
Accident. I accidentally hit the wrong button, and
that's what I did too.
I'm gonna go with Houston as the better young core.
Yeah, I still got the Pistons.
Why, Dibo?
Okay. Houston, they got a bad rep these past few years.
Shitty coaching.
Undisciplined. Oh yeah, because of I'm Stephen Silas, but
Man who should
undisciplined
not be named.
team. AAU ball, unserious team, but Ime is going to change all of that. Ime Udoka will be the difference maker in changing that team from a 15 dumpster fire organization to a respectable one. They're going to be a playing team this year, in my opinion. And Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Shangoon, he's shown the high ceiling he already has as a primary ball handler, the scorer he is. Amen Thompson too as well, being a great slasher, a slashing wing at his age. Jabari Smith, he has potential to be an all defensive caliber player. And guys too like a Josh Christopher and Atari Eason as well, complementary pieces like that. This Houston young core, man, I'm sorry, but I'm very high on this Houston team.
Can I ask
I
you a
still
question?
am. Yes.
At what point, like, I understand. Look, I thought Steven Silas should have been gone a year ago. I thought he was the worst coach in the league. But can we stop completely blaming him for everything that went on in Houston? I
No.
understand he deserves a large part of the
No.
blame.
I'm
But at
sorry.
some point, hold up. But at some point, you got to blame the players at least a little bit. Like for them, I would not be surprised if they led the league in negative point differential. Like if they had the worst point differential in the league. Like to be playing the basketball they played, to be losing it by as much as they did. Like I understand a lot of that falls on the coach, but at some point the players have to have some dignity. The players have to be wanting to like improve and get better and be a better team. And like I'll say this, I just felt like I never saw the players have that kind of cohesiveness together.
Right. That is true. I do agree with you on that behalf. KPJ, he shouldn't be hanging out with Johnny Ding on the sideline, looking at chains and watches online, like shopping online. Josh Christopher, he shouldn't be mocking his own head coach just when he's about to get checked out of the game. He can't do that. That can't happen with your team. That makes up for a very poor culture. And I understand where you're coming from, but this man Stephen Silas, right, bro?
He's horrible.
I'm
He's horrible.
sorry. I'm sorry. The dude was genuinely one of the worst head coaches in the league, and I understand that he got dealt a very bad hand when he first got the job. Of course, he was still there when Harden, John Wall, Boogie Cousins, guys like that were still on the team, and then during his first year, they entirely switched. They made the move to trade away James Harden to start a new rebuild. So I do understand on that behalf. But when you're a coach, right, you don't run plays. The guy you drafted at a very high draft pick, which is Jabari Smith Jr., you don't run plays for him, for one of your main guys? Bro, that's on you. That is on you. Your players not listening to what you have to say as a head coach, that is on you.
For sure. I won't disagree because I do think that it's been a long time coming for Steven Silas. I thought he should have been gone a while ago. This next one might be tougher. I don't know. It is the Magic again. The Magic have Anthony Black, Jet Howard, Paulo Banchero, Caleb Houston, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Bobo, Wendell Carter, and Primo Akiki. And then they're going against the 11 seeded Mavericks once again, who have Luka, Frank Ntilikina, Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, and Derek Lively. Who we taking?
Oh, I'm going to the Magic for sure.
Okay, I'm going Magic as well. The Luka card got them as far as it could, I think.
Yeah, I would have to say I couldn't put it any better. They're young. The young core of the Magic has such a high ceiling. I think when they figure it out, they're going to be a force. I already said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, I was on the.
I got Orlando as well.
Yep. All right. Orlando moving on. And then now we have the 7-seeded Atlanta Hawks versus the 2-seeded Grizzlies. I'll remind you what the Grizzlies look like because we've only seen them once. They look like Kenny Lofton Jr., Jake LaRavia, Zaire Williams, Salty Aldama, David Roddy, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and Xavier Tillman. And then the Hawks, once again, have Kobe Bumpkin, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, and Yeka Konwu, Sadiq Bey, and Trae Young.
Going to Memphis here.
Dibo?
going with Memphis.
Okay. Sweep then, because I have Memphis as well. All right. We are down to the final four. You guys want to start with the Thunder or the Grizzlies side?
We'll start with the Grizzlies side.
All right. Grizzlies are the 2-seeded Grizzlies versus Magic.
We're
I'm not
going
going to
with
repeat them.
Memphis.
I hope you can remember.
We're going with Memphis. All right.
I'm gonna go with Memphis too.
I'm going to go with Memphis too.
I got the
So
Grizzlies.
Memphis is in the finals against the winner of Thunder versus Pistons. Do you guys need me to reread those teams?
Thunder Pistons.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
I'm taking Thunder.
I'm going with
I'm
OKC.
Yeah, clean sweep across the board.
Clean sweep. And
It's
then,
really
and
a
then
1
we got,
versus 2 seed.
then we got Battle of the Giants. I'll repeat the teams here because this is the finals. Let's start with the Grizzlies again. They have Kenny Lofton Jr., Jake LaRavia, Zaire Williams, Santi Aldama, David Roddy, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and Xavier Tillman. And they're going against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have Cason Wallace, Ousmane Dieng, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Poku, J-Dub, Trae Mann, Lou Dort, and Shea. Who are you going with, Dibo?
Okay. Well, with Memphis, right? We've already seen both Ja and Jaren Jackson reach some all-star heights, even with Ja, damn near borderline superstar level. But I don't know, man. That Thunder team's just calling me. They're calling me, man. They're calling and calling and calling. And with that being said, I'm gonna go with OKC.
Owen? It's not ridiculous, Dibo.
Dude, this is tough.
This is tough. This is like the battle
really
of the two giants.
And rightfully so. I mean, you got the two youngest teams, I believe. I'm gonna make the case for Memphis here, actually. And Dibo, I think you were on to something. You made a crazy counter argument, but I think the counter argument was better than your argument in saying that what we've seen with Memphis already is 2 seed. And
Yeah.
But they've been kind of in that range for the past couple of years. And I know OKC, they're still midst a rebuild, right? But I don't know if they're going to get a player that's going to turn out better than SGA is, or even really close. And what we've seen, we got like very low seed, like bottom 3 the past few years. Actually, not this year. They were at 10, I believe, 10 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a bit of an anomaly. And sure, you could say, oh, that's working. They got J-Dub, right? He's what helped them mainly. He's like the main factor to help them there. But I don't know if they're new rookie guys that they brought on, and if Chet's going to be really, really that much better than an 18-10 player.
I mean, if he's an 18-10 player, I think they're happy with that.
But I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's going to be better than that at all, ever. I think that might be his ceiling. So coming up in these next couple of years, I don't know if you were going to see him be that much better than Memphis. So that's my case for Memphis.
Dibo, I saw you making some faces when no one was talking. You got a rebuttal?
Shoot, I'm gonna let you talk first.
All right. I'm taking the Thunder as well. This one was close for me, but it was more so the depth. It was more so the depth of the Thunder. Looking at the top tier talent, I personally prefer Shea over Ja. I've been skeptical over Ja for kind of a while now, and all this stuff going on, all this question mark surrounding him. I think the certainty and the certainness that I get with a star like Shea, the night in, night out consistencies that he brings, I think I would take him. And then Jaren Jackson, I would prefer Jaren Jackson right now over Josh Giddey, although that could change in a year or two from now. But I would prefer Jaren Jackson. So Where this really takes over for me is just the surrounding pieces, right? Because when I'm looking at the Grizzlies' young core around them, they have Xavier Tillman, who he's a cool piece. He's nothing I'm like writing home about. They have Kenny Lofton, who I would like it to see him play more, but they don't really play him. And then David Roddy, who I like. But versus the Thunder, who like if we take away those two, their top two pieces in Shea and Giddy, they still have J Dub. They still have Lou Dort, who I really like. They still have Poku, who could still be something. Chet, who if Chet's giving you 18-8 or 18-10, with 2 blocks, I think they're completely happy with that. Even a guy like Jay Will to be your backup big, Cason Wallace can turn out to be something from this draft. So like for me, I think that the top end talent is kind of equal, whereas the depth on the Thunder, I would take them over the Grizzlies.
It's not crazy.
All right. So when you look at this Thunder roster, right, I'm seeing potentially Shea, already an all-star, and then 3 other all-stars as well, in Giddy, J-Dub, and Chet. For Josh Giddy, I'm very high on as well. I think he could be at his peak, a borderline top 5, 7 point guard in this league, around that level. I think with his IQ, his playmaking ability, and if he can somehow be a more threatening scorer offensively, then I think the ceiling is the roof for that man. For Jalen Williams, towards the end of the season, post All-Star break, he was nearly at an All-Star caliber level. He was averaging what,
22.
19, around that average as well. And you add the defensive ability, the rebounding, and he's actually a very serviceable playmaker for his position as well. So I think that's another All-Star caliber talent with him. And with Chet, of course, the foot injury, that's a huge question mark. But the talent he has as a two-way player in this league, bro, he still has potential to be a near perennial all-star in this league. And so, with that being said, I just think that once you add that factor, along with the Thunder, their other secondary players as well, I just think they're by far the best young core in this league.
You think? Let me get this clear, Dibo. You think the Thunder are going to have 4 All-Star players?
They have 4 caliber All-Star players right now. 4 future caliber All-Star players.
I don't know about that. I think you might be talking a little crazy there, but that is all right.
Okay, so which ones do you? Yeah, okay. So on which ones do you disagree with?
I don't think Josh Giddey and Chet are going to be.
You don't think Josh Giddey's going to be an All-Star?
I don't think so.
Ooh. Wait, so you think J Dub not Josh Giddey?
I think J Dub and Shea will be.
I think you're severely underrating Josh Giddey. That man is.
Why not Giddey?
I don't know. I don't know how much better or how much more room he has to grow.
Yeah, bro, expendable. Like it's like a whole like mad levels. Like when you compare his rookie year to his sophomore year, it's night and day. His rookie year, he was an inefficient 3-point shooter. Going into his sophomore year this season, he was at least respectable. And once you add that with his playmaking ability and his high IQ, and with him potentially being an off-ball player to complement Shea, I just think that you just can't ignore that.
Okay, hold on. So, what's Josh Giddey's most valuable asset?
His playmaking.
Playmaking by far. Playmaking.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there. And I don't think that's ever going to change. But I also don't know how much better his playmaking is going to get. I can't see how much better that's going to get. Sure, he's going to probably start shooting a little bit better, like maybe like 2 to 3% better as he matures in this league. He starts understanding when to shoot, when not to shoot, which he already has a pretty good comprehension of that because he's a high IQ player. But just the nerves are going to keep calming down. He's going to keep finding his place in this league. But I just can't see him getting to the All-Star level, like, or at least perennial All-Star level, like you said, Dibo. You might have a one-off, but I don't think I can't see it happening. That's really all. I think he's going to stay in his playmaking position, and I think that's where he's obviously best at. And I don't know what he's going to do that's going to get him that much better because he's not a great defender. He's an okay defender. He's not great. He's just about average. But then his shooting, again, I don't know if it's going to get that much better. But, yeah.
All right,
I don't know.
I'm gonna throw these stats out real quick. So when you compare his 2 seasons, right? Overall from the field, he went from shooting 42% to 48% from 3, 26% on 4 attempts to 33% on 3 attempts. Free throw percentage, it increased from 71 to 73, and he went from 13 points a game to 17 points a game. So we're already seeing massive improvements from his play.
Just to clear it up, you said 42 to 49%. I believe you misspoke and said from 3. That's just field goal.
Field goal percentage overall from the field. It was 40. It's 42% to 48% actually.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page there, not getting any confusing action going.
Right.
Yeah, so he's has that improvement to about a 2% increase in everything except his field goal percentage, which is obviously going to be the one that's going to increase the most. But do you think that's going to stay on a steady pace for the next years to come? You do?
I truly believe that. I truly believe it.
I do as well. I think the more you play, the more IQ you gain, especially because he was a player who came from overseas. So that first year is an adjustment. The second year is kind of where you like gain some momentum. And then the third year is really where you're comfortable in the league. It's kind of like, oh, I've been here, I've done this. And then the pieces around him are just getting better. Lou Dort continues to improve his 3-point shot. J-Dub, obviously, we saw what he did as the season went on, improving his scoring to upwards of 20 points as the season progressed. And then we'll see that continue. Chet Holmgren will be able to space the floor for him. So it's like you're just building better offensive weapons around him. So I could see the playmaking and assist numbers going up. And if they're a 50-win, 40-win, 60-win team as the years progress, I think the more wins you get, the more All-Star nominees you get.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, that's just how it works. But I think Dibo saying they're going to be a 50-win team, I think that's maybe talking a little crazy. Like 50-win, 5 seed-ish is where I believe you said, Dibo?
Yeah, like top 5 in the East with 50 wins.
Or you mean the West?
No, West.
Everybody's doing that today.
Top 5 seed in the West, 50 wins. I know I messed up in the last episode. My fault. Trying to do better. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. When you got teams like the Nuggets, obviously I haven't been super high on the Clippers, but I think the Clippers are still going to be better, record-wise.
If they don't blow it up.
Yeah, sure. I think the Kings will be better than the Thunder.
If everybody stays healthy.
I think the Kings will be better than the Thunder. I think Memphis will be better.
Okay.
And I think
I don't know.
Let me think.
Memphis, I don't know. I don't think the Kings will be better.
Really?
No.
Really? You think it was a fluke season?
No, I think they'll be like a 6 seed-ish team.
Really?
I just think like when you like part of their run last year was kind of like the momentum and like kind of coming out of the blue and like, but I think it's a lot harder to do it 2 years in a row than one.
I don't know. It was also mainly due to all the other contenders in the West fixing their roster mid-season and like with all the injuries and stuff like that as well. So I just think that it was kind of fluky. I'm more leaning on it being towards a fluke, but I'm still like high on that Kings team anyway. So
yeah.
Let's see. What other teams in the West, though? The Lakers? The Lakers, possibly.
The Spurs with Wemby are going to win it.
They're going to be
according to that one dude in the lunchroom debate comment section.
Yo, that one dude is. First of all, he hasn't followed us yet, which that kind of irritates me.
Nope.
But I don't know. That man kind of weird, bro. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I want weird is a strong word. I just say that he has some like wildest takes. I love him. I love to have him on here though. You know,
Hey, we get some wild clips.
hey, we can have like people. We could be like another player's choice, man. Instead of anybody coming on here to say their takes. So,
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no, I think bringing more people on to be good.
yeah. All right. So, are we saying the Thunder? They beating the Grizzlies?
Yeah. The Thunder won the tournament.
I just, God, all right. I mean, I'm obviously not in the majority here, but I just don't think so.
Damn.
Shea, baby, let's go. OKC, stand up. Come on. Oklahoma City, stand up. Let's get it.
I hope you understand my rationale, at least. I hope you understand my rationale.
No, I understand that there's more depth for sure, but I think I just think what we've seen, like on paper, OKC has more, right? That's just not a question. And I'm looking at it right now, the Google Doc. But what we've seen time and time again, proven, is that Memphis has been there and good. Yeah, that's fine. And that's
sure. Like if you want to go off seeding, sure. But like, are you taking Shea or are you taking Ja?
That's tough. They're really, really close. I'm probably going to take Shea.
Yeah.
But it's like very marginal.
Like I would take Shea. I'm fine taking Jaren Jackson now. I said I would prefer him now, but I think Josh Giddey will be better as they progress. But like outside of those two for the Grizzlies, like Xavier Tillman was really the only contributing factor. Like Xavier Tillman, Santi Aldama both came off the bench. They cut Zaire Williams minutes a lot this year. David Roddy got some minutes, but not enough for like me to like run away with it.
Well, I think David Roddy's going to have a breakout season.
It's that Rams bias.
Maybe it is, but I think he's going to shoot so much. I mean, he's kind of struggled with the shooting for sure. And I think he's going to get those little jitters out and start shooting it much better. Which is what opens up his game if you watched him at CSU.
Mm-hmm. But for the Thunder, they have Lou Dort, who's been one of the best defenders and a contributor for a couple seasons now.
Absolutely.
J-Dub, who obviously was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year. J-Will, who was a starting center. And although we can agree that he should be a backup five, I don't think he's a bad backup five by any means. I think him and Xavier Tillman are pretty much even. And then you still got guys like Chet Holmgren, who we haven't seen, but they project to be at least decent.
Yeah.
So
I personally think he's going to be a bust, but that's all right.
I don't know.
Time will tell. I hope it's not a bust because I hate to see anyone have like or be hyped up that much and then come out poor because it sucks. Yeah.
Who was the third overall pick that draft? It was Paolo, then it was Chet, and then who was it?
Chet.
Jabari Smith.
Jabari, yeah.
I'd rather have Chet than Jabari.
I'm still high on Jabari, man.
I am too. I actually do like Jabari. But if he can knock down that three, then the Rockets will be in a good position. Jabari actually ended the year really well. He had a really good end to the season.
Yeah.
Because he knew Stephen Silas was going to be out.
That would be the difference. Silas to Udoka. We gonna see it over time, man. It's gonna work like clockwork. It's gonna happen.
I'm high on Ime, I will say.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna work wonders for that Rockets franchise.
Mm-hmm. All right, but so should we end it off there?
I think that's a good place to end.
All right.
Thunder have the best young core in the league.
Yeah.
Thunder do.
Shea, Giddey, Chet, and J.W. Trust.
Talk about some good rankings. I ranked Thunder at 1 and Memphis at 2, and that's how it ended up being.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to argue with you on that.
No, you could just say I know ball.
Yeah, I think I know ball more than my fellow co-host here, but I'm going to
that might be ridiculous.
I don't know when people say Trae Young not a winning basketball player, then I don't take that lightly.
I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out of that locker room. How many head coaches?
How many
How
head
many head
coaches
coaches?
were good?
4?
How many
How many
head
players
coaches
have
were
decreased
good?
their play when they play with him?
How many head coaches were good under Trae Young?
Nate McMillan's a career winner.
No, he's not.
His teams have not consistently been in the playoffs as higher
No,
seeds.
define career winner. There's a clear ceiling when Nate McMillan coaches a team. There is a
Is
clear
Chris Paul a
ceiling.
career winner?
Yes.
Then Nate McMillan is
There
a
you
career
go.
winner.
There you
No,
go.
Chris Paul has been in deep playoff runs before. He been
Nate
to the
McMillan's
finals.
been to conference finals
No, bro, you lying.
with the Pacers when they had Paul George and shit.
You lying. No, that was Frank Vogel, not Nate McMillan.
That was Frank Vogel, but they also had the VO days too.
Bro,
Weren't
hey,
they?
what?
No, they were what? They were a game away from beating LeBron with Frank Vogel. A game away. Wasn't it a LeBron buzzer beater too that sent him home?
No,
And
it wasn't.
Tristan Thompson kicking it back to 2016.
What was the, bro, it was 2020. It was 2018, right? They lost in 7. But even then, it was in the first round. So with the Nate McMillan team, right? Okay, at best, you're gonna have a solid squad, a feel good story, but you're gonna lose. You're gonna have a very early exit in the playoffs. That's the majority of the time.
He also took
been a head
the
coach.
Atlanta Hawks to the conference finals.
Trae Young did.
Nah, if you're gonna say that his coaching had no impact on that run, you're crazy.
It did have an impact, but he wasn't the main reason why they went to the.
You wasn't, but his system from when he took over from Lord Pierce, and they became one of the best teams in the league that season immediately following his enter as the coach. I would say that that's a lot of his coaching tactics.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. Like Nate McMillan, that was a very good coaching hire at the time because they needed a defensive leader, defensive head coach to sort out their issues on that side of the ball. But again, like I said before, there's a ceiling with the Nate McMillan coach team, and after they made the conference finals, right, the next 2 seasons, first round, and whatever they did this year. So
I think
And
if you're going to say
Snyder's
there's a
a
ceiling
winner,
with the
too.
Nate McMillan thing, you should say there's a ceiling with the Trae Young.
there's not a ceiling with Trae Young.
Trae Young has MVP potential, but I don't think we'll see it. I'll say that I don't think Jalen Brunson or Jamal Murray has MVP potential. Trae Young does.
Bro, Trae Young is not on the same tier as Jamal Murray and Jalen Brunson.
Unfortunately, he plays like it.
No.
Unfortunately, he plays like it.
I
Jalen Brunson,
don't know.
I can specifically point to Jalen Brunson making my team's players better. Quentin Grimes became a much better 3-point shooter. Julius Randle went back to his most improved player season, if not better. Mitchell Robinson looked like an actual good, competent center. RJ Barrett had his best season of his career. What did DeJounte Murray have? A down year. What did Clint Capella, who's played with notorious great point guards like James Harden, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook have? Down years. Right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
It's more than stats with Trae Young.
Okay. We will end it off there. But yeah, to wrap it up, thank you guys for the love and support. We are so close to hitting 6K on TikTok, man.
So close.
Nearly there. We're so close to hitting 1.5K. We're on the road to 2K as well on IG, and we just hit over 200 subscribers on YouTube. So
I saw that. Y'all got us there.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all for love and support, and we're gonna keep making great content for y'all down the road. So, hey, with that being said, we're gonna say peace. We'll see y'all next time.
Adios.
Adios.
Peace.
Good job, boys.
Peace.